This feature is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, and Digicel. Sign up for Digicel Plus Home Light Bundles, faster internet, movies, and sports.
Thank you, Razor Blades. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to get started, or we're just about ready to get started. So if you can please stand, so we can have the opening prayer.
Good evening, everyone. Lord Almighty, we come before you this evening. We want to thank you for the privilege of having a good day, of being able to commune together, of being able to celebrate this special occasion. As the world takes the stage and we have women in every sport, Lord Jesus, we want to thank you that we were able to be in the workplace, to add other tidbits to what is happening on the field when it comes to sports. So Lord Jesus, we ask you to govern what happens here tonight. We ask you to let it shine forth, let everyone recognize that the BVI is on the move when it comes to gender equality. When it is, we have an opportunity to showcase our women. Guide us, bless us as we continue the night. Help us where we come to discuss what happens with sports, even as we work with the BVI Olympic Committee, to give our part, to take part in what is happening in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. Guide us, bless us, keep us, take us home safely at the end of this occasion. And we thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here in your wonderful and precious name. Amen.
Stains our ancestors and died, but with strength and with power we overcame to restore Virgin Islands' pride, to preserve the beauty we devised the plan, to obtain ownership of your precious land. Educating your people is the golden key to maintain the success of this territory. Oh, how radiant are your daughters, and how wealthy are your sons. Your beaches boast your beauty, and your success is second to none. Green and brilliant are your hillsides, they replenish our hopes and pride. Oh, beautiful Virgin Islands, your qualities can never be denied. Oh, beautiful Virgin Islands, your qualities can never be denied.
We thank you once again for joining us this evening. Like we say, it's a special occasion. It's always nice when the ladies can be recognized. We thank the Olympic Committee for always being here and always assisting us and representing us in these grand occasions. I now call on Makeda to introduce our host for the evening, Ms. Jahphix.
Good night all, thank you for being here. Chelsea Hodge is a pro BVI athlete, entrepreneur, and advocate for women in sports who has dedicated her life to both playing sports and building opportunities for others. Chelsea's athletic journey began at the age of 5 on the softball field, where she played t-ball and developed a lifelong love for sport. Over the years, she has competed in track and field, volleyball, tennis, and jump rope, embodying the multi-sport spirit that defines BVI athletics. Today, she serves as president of the Virgin Islands Fireboards Volleyball Club, the BVI Sports Volleyball Club, where she is actively working to grow the sport and create pathways for young athletes. She also proudly supports the relaunch of the BVI Grasshoppers Jump Rope demonstration team, ensuring this beloved BVI tradition continues to inspire the next generation. Beyond the court and field, Chelsea has built a successful career in hospitality and human resources, serving for several years in senior roles at Warner Island Hotel and Moorings Limited. Her professional journey later led her to the Ministry of Financial Services, where she served as a direct report to the Honorable Lorna Smith, OBE, honoring her skills in administration and strategic support. In June 2025, Chelsea took the bold step of becoming a lifetime entrepreneur, launching CAHSS, a virtual assistant business that provides administrative and HR support to individuals and small businesses across BVI. When she is not advocating for sports development, Chelsea enjoys swimming, singing, reading, and traveling. She is proudly engaged to Mr. Shea Pemberton, a renowned dancer, policy analyst, and economist with the BVI government. Chelsea's commitment to empowering women, supporting grassroots sports, and strengthening her community makes her a powerful and fitting voice in celebrating the unsung women in BVI sports. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Chelsea Punch.
Thank you, Makeda, and thank you all. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here this evening in representation of women in sports. We're looking to continue to encourage women, young women, older women to continue to fill roles in sports in the front end, back end, wherever we can fill this space, because we know that men continue to dominate in every way. When there's basketball, you always think about men's basketball. When you think about baseball, you think about men's baseball. But you have to think about softball, women's sports, you have to think about women's basketball. That is becoming very, very popular. So I am so pleased that you have these familiar faces who are here to be recognized for their efforts, for their works in sports. Ladies, we applaud you, we commend you, we're so grateful for you. Thank you for paving the way. We really appreciate your presence and everything that you do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's dive into things. I appreciate that you have a better understanding as to what GEDI is. Yes? No. Do you know what GEDI stands for? J-E-D-I. Can anyone guess? G-E-D-I. Can anyone guess? If I give the first one, can you try to give me the second one? G, gender. Ooh, okay. They got it before me. Okay, what's the next one? Empowerment? Try another guess. Equality. Try another guess. Equity? They say no, it's actually equality. You were right. Okay, so what's the D stand for? Anybody? Development? That's pretty close. But let's stay on that same train. Diversity. Diversity. And the last one? Inclusion. Inclusion. So that's what their brand stands for. They're all about gender, equality, diversity, and inclusion. These women want to make sure that the women's voices are being empowered, they're being heard, they're being represented. So again, I want you to take this time to just be embraced, be empowered by these women. And if you have children that are feeling for sports, continue to encourage them to explore more than one sport. Sometimes we think that they should be limited to one particular area or the next. But as you can see here, we have these women that play varying sports, but they represent different sports as well. So continue to be encouraging that way. So again, it's gender, equality, diversity, and inclusion. That's what they represent, that's what they stand for. All right, let's keep moving along here. So we would like to welcome Mr. Ephraim Penn to the mic. He's going to give us some brief remarks about his interaction and his involvement with GEDI.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening to everyone. I'm looking around and we are outnumbered. I see one guy here to fight with me, but we're going to give it a good show. And I must congratulate the ladies sitting at the head table. You represent what development and sports and growth is all about in the British Virgin Islands. And I'm sure that on behalf of the Olympic Committee, we'd like to thank you for your effort, thank you for your contribution to sports in whatever field you play. I have a short little talk. I'm not going to keep you long. I'm sure you know that I'm the president of the Olympic Committee, and we are the sponsor of the commission. So I'm going to give you the two commissions that fall under the event we're having here tonight. The GEDI Commission. GEDI Commission is formally established by the NOC, which is the British Virgin Islands Olympic Committee, under its constitution and bylaws. Its mandate is to advocate, advise, and promote equality, diversity, and inclusion across all levels of sports. It functions as an advisory body, not a decision-making authority. That comes from the IOC, the International Olympic Committee. That's their definition. But we also have another umbrella, which is Pan Am Sports. And Pan Am Sports also governs what the Olympic Committee does. And they have a definition. They stuck to the old way. They call it Women and Sports Commission. And this is their definition. The mission of the Women and Sports Commission is to promote gender equality in all aspects of sports, from participation and access to leadership, with the aim of creating an inclusive and equitable environment for women at all levels, from competition to administration and decision making. And they have 8 specific goals for the women. And I wouldn't bore you with the goals and the details, but I'll tell you what they are. Promotion of women participation in sports, boosting female leadership, equality of opportunities and resources, combating discrimination and harassment, development of educational programs, visibility of women achievement in sports, international cooperation and gender equality, and monitoring compliance with equality policies. So here we are. That's the background of the body that we have. So now we have to look at, do these ladies in front of me have these qualities that I just read out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, give them a wrap. Yeah, we are really appreciative of the contributions of ladies in the British Virgin Islands in sports. In fact, whenever I go to conferences and they said, well, we need equality and we need this, I say, well, at home I'm in the minority, so I don't have that problem. In fact, of the National Olympic Committees in the Caribbean, I think we, except for Trinidad, we are almost equally balanced with male and female on our executive. And that speaks a lot for what we're doing. So the appreciation shown tonight for these ladies who have sacrificed so much of their time, and I'm sure as we go through the night, you will hear experiences that you would say, well, I didn't know you did all that. I didn't know you were involved in so many things. And you will be surprised as to what happens behind the scene. We always look at the glorious thing when there's a medal won and there's pomp and parade, but we don't realize that that's just the end. There's a journey that happens, and the journey involves persons like the ladies here who are working in different areas of sports to make sure that that athlete makes it to the top. And their dedication, I'm sure, spanned many years. And you will hear about that too. But the appreciation and dedication, but there's something that's very important, sacrifice. you have to love what you're doing because you're not being paid. So you have to sacrifice so many things that you could have the alternative, but you have made a commitment to sports, you have made a commitment to developing the athletes, you have made a commitment to development in the country. And the most important thing is that not if someone win a medal, but how you have influenced that person to change their life. Because sports is a very important thing. It happened to me, changed my life completely. I've been able to see so much and done so much, and it's all through sports. But you have to have someone who is a champion, who believes in you, to make sure that happens. And I'm sure everyone here would have had someone who encouraged them and inspired them to be involved in sport in some way. And I'm sure it will come out tonight as we speak. And one of the most important, as I said, it's a sacrifice, but the most important one is your family. Because your family has to be behind you, supporting your efforts, and really encouraging you to stay involved in sports. I know my sister's name was on the list, and I don't see her here, but she has been an inspiration to my life. As I'm told, as I was very young, she has always been there encouraging me. My mother was very ill, so my sister was really our guardian. And she sacrificed a lot to make sure that we as a family, in particular myself, involved in sports, was able to be successful. And I'm standing here tonight, and it just reflects back on what is important. Family. Family is the most important thing you can have. When you're down, family is there to pick you up, and the family is there to drive you and work with you. And that's very important, and I'm sure each one here will have a story of their family, the sacrifices they made to make sure that they were successful. And so, I will try to not be too long, but I'd like to thank the organizers of this event for really making sure that the women, they call them unsung, but you're always heroes. You're all heroes. Everyone plays a role. Making sure that you are recognized for your contribution and your dedication to sports. Sometimes you get frustrated, and I know sometimes you will say, well, I will give up on this because and I heard this a lot in my journey. I'm not getting paid. Why am I taking all this harassment? But it's the love and the dedication and the sacrifice, and you know that someone sacrificed for you to get where you are. So you have a feeling within you to give back to your community. And that is why you see so many persons out there on the softball field, out there on the track, out there with the basketball court, with volleyball, because they know that they can help some young person along the way. And I would just like to encourage everyone who is here to continue to support our honorees, continue to support sports in the British Virgin Islands, and continue to uplift young ladies, even now more than ever, with the many challenges that are out there in our society. Thank you very much.
Bria Smith is an accomplished public relations strategist, media communications professional, and cultural storyteller whose work spans historical preservation, creative performance, and public impact. A proud Virgin Islander, Bria has built a dynamic career centered around advocacy, representation, and storytelling in service to her community. She gained international recognition as the first ever two-time Miss British Virgin Islands, representing the territory at Miss Universe 2019. Her platform focused on historical preservation, particularly the protection of heritage structures and coastal sites vulnerable to climate change, rising sea levels, and increasingly powerful storms. Through this global stage, Bria amplified the urgency of safeguarding identity and place in the face of environmental uncertainty. An honors graduate in Humanities and Media and Communication Studies with a minor in history, Bria's academic and creative work converges in her roles as a speech writer, media strategist, host, and voice actor. She has led communications efforts in government, higher education, and politics, using her platform to inform, engage, and inspire. Bria's service extends well beyond her professional life. She currently holds the following positions: Secretary General, Virgin Islands Softball Baseball Association, Interim Vice President of BVI Reading Council, Organizing Committee Member of BVI Lit Fest, former Deputy Premier and Minister for Health and Social Development, Virgin Islands Youth Parliament, and former OECS Youth Advisory Network member. As an entrepreneur, Bria leads ventures in ecotourism, media production, event planning, and public relations. She is also a member of the BVI Women's National Softball Team and a proud dog lover with an adventurous spirit. Whether advocating for heritage, resilience, performing on stage, or serving her community, Bria remains committed to preserving what matters, empowering the next generation, and telling the stories that shape the Virgin Islands and its future. Ladies and gentlemen, Bria.
Thank you, Akira. Good evening, everyone, members of the BVI Olympic Committee, distinguished guests, honorees, family, friends, and every one young girl who came tonight to see what is possible. I stand before you first as a woman who has lived sport, who has felt the thud of a softball into a glove after a perfect throw, who has measured a season not only in wins and losses, but in bruises and injuries, early mornings and late night practices, who has nurtured teams and programs from the field to the boardroom. Over more than 15 years of competitive softball and years in the administrative trenches, I learned that sport is a mirror. It reflects our grit and our grace, our limits and our limitless potential. It reminds us that pain and pride can live in the same body, that excellence is forged in the furnace of repetition, and that peace sometimes is the sound of our own breath just before you walk out on that field or court. Being a woman in sport is an exercise in paradox. We are asked to be fierce and tender, competitive and collaborative, powerful but polite. We carry the weight of expectation, sometimes set by men who love the game but don't always understand what it means to live it in a woman's body. Many of us were introduced to our sport by coaches and mentors who were men, good men, who pushed us, believed in us, and set standards we fought to reach and then dared to exceed. And still too often, we've met the raised eyebrow, the reduced headlines, the smallness of others' imagination. We have competed through monthly cycles, through pain that is invisible to most eyes. We have missed moments with family. We have returned to training too soon after life-changing events because teams needed us and opportunities do not always wait. We have been told to smile more and want less. We have had to negotiate our place again and again at tables that we helped to build. And yet, we are still here. We are here because sport is a sanctuary and a catalyst. It gives us language for our ambition, order for our chaos, community for our solitude. It gives us purpose and peace. And for so many of us, sport became the bridge to leadership. We learned how to organize, how to advocate, to fundraise, to govern, to create safety and opportunity for those coming next. Tonight we honor women who set that standard, who embody what it means to break through ceilings, to open doors, to leave the lights on for the next generation. Women whose stories say to every girl in the Virgin Islands, you belong, you are powerful, and you are next. Winnette Lawrence. Winnette's journey began with a simple act of curiosity, archery. She picked up a bow and the bow picked her. Through archery, she found focus, discipline, and confidence, qualities that would not only define her athletic path, but launch her into sports administration when she saw athletes who needed support. She didn't wait for permission, she stepped in. As a certified coach and continental judge, she chose a role many don't see, the precision behind fairness, and used it to nurture integrity in sport. She earned a spot for CSC 2023, and she keeps going because young people keep showing up with dedication, with struggle, with growth. Winnette reminds us that leadership is not always on the podium. Sometimes it stands quietly at the line, ensuring that every shot is judged with equity, that every athlete is seen. She believes in gender equality not as an idea, but as a practice. And she has found and built communities that are welcoming, empowering, and profoundly female forward. Her message to the next generation is clear. Believe in yourself, stay focused, do not let anyone, coach, mentor, or critic misuse or define you. Winnette, thank you for bringing focus to our movement and fairness to our fields. Rose Adams. Rose isn't here, but Rose's story begins as many of ours did, our primary school sports day, where the spark of competition meets the joy of community. She went on to set records in the 100 meter, 200 meter, and long jump that stood for 27 years, a testament to talent, work, and will. She became the first female from the Virgin Islands to attend the World Championships in Helsinki, 1983, a pathfinder on a global stage. And when athletes needed structure and support, Rose stepped off the track and into service, taking on the secretary role in 1982 to help athletes and officials travel, compete, and grow, passing the baton 2 decades later. Rose has been honest about sacrifice, competing while managing the realities of womanhood, missing the 1984 Olympics for family obligations. She reminds us that excellence isn't always a straight line. Sometimes it's a choice, the right choice, that redefines success. Rose, you're not here, but your dedication to representing this territory and your example of knowing when to compete and when to serve have made the lanes wider for us all. Cynthia Skelton Martin, who also is not here. Cindy, as we know her, grew up with sport as her constant companion, an all-rounder whose love for movement was as natural as breath. She kept herself fit, competed across disciplines from track to softball, and celebrated moments like leading the Quails through an undefeated softball league in 2003. Today, she continues to push boundaries while living with a disability, inspiring the next generation with her resilience and spirit. She calls for renewed investment in sport because progress should never be a memory, it must be a mission. Cindy, you're not here, but your spirit and strength remind us that the true measure of an athlete is not what they do at their peak, but who we remain when the circumstances change. Medita. Medita represents the root of what sports once were: community, discipline, and play. Growing up in the 40s and 50s when physical activity was a way of life, it meant you walked everywhere, played outdoors, and learned to love the body you moved in. Medita carried that spirit into netball, into the UE Games in Trinidad, and into leadership when teachers saw the need to organize and asked her to serve. She helped start an association not for applause, but for structure, so the sport could grow. She reminds us we are light years from where we began. Facilities, funding, visibility, and that the journey to the Olympics runs straight through community. Decades later, she reflects with humility, saying she made up the numbers, when in truth, She helped build the foundation many walk on today. Medita, thank you for your quiet power, your joy, and for making space where none existed. Cass' sporting journey began early and instinctively in street football, netball, and track and field, where her natural talent shone. But in the late 1990s, she made a shift that would redefine her legacy. She moved from simply playing sport to building pathways within it. Cass created opportunities for young people using football not just as a game, but as a vehicle for growth, discipline, and belonging. Her leadership produced victories, GPA championships, CFU achievements, and the remarkable milestone of seeing 17 athletes from her programs advance to the national team. But Cass' proudest achievements are not medals. They are the children who found a place, a purpose, and a future through the programs that she built. Guided by faith, family, and a belief that all things are possible, Cass has uplifted hundreds, leaving fingerprints across generations of BVA football. Cass, we honor your heart, your faith, your dedication, and the legacy of possibility that you have created. These women remind us that excellence is not accidental. It is shaped by early mornings, late nights, difficult decisions, emotional fortitude, unwavering belief, and community. It is the way we show up for ourselves, for our teams, for our territory. They have broken records and built frameworks. They have inspired change and become change. They have coached, judged, organized, and advocated so that the next girl who laces up her cleats, or draws the bow, or lines up on the track and the court will feel the ground solid beneath them. Because of them, we saw what is possible. We learned to speak up in meetings where our voices had been the quietest. We learned to take care of our bodies with reverence and tell the truth about our pain. We learned that sacrifice, family time, sleep, comfort is real. And we learned to hold that sacrifice with honor, not apology. We learned to navigate systems designed without us in mind, and then to redesign them with everyone in mind. Because of them, we are here. To our brothers in the crowd, our fathers, our coaches, and colleagues who believed in us, trained us, and stood beside us, we want to say thank you. Your allyship matters, but let us all be honest about the work still to do, because equity is not a courtesy, it should be the standard. It means listening to women, resourcing women, hiring women, promoting women, and creating environments where our daughters do not have to be the first to be the best. Let tonight be your confirmation that all of us belong in the arena. Not because we are perfect, not because we are compared, not because someone gives us permission, but because the torch is already in our hands. Sport will demand much of you, time, body, heart, sacrifice, but it will return to you strength, clarity, courage, resilience, and sisterhood. Show up, speak up, train hard, take space. And when you rise, because you will, remember the women who rose first. Tonight we do more than hand out honors. We acknowledge labor. We validate sacrifice. We celebrate joy. We put names to a lineage that has built and continue to build, brick by brick, the sporting architecture of the Virgin Islands. One that is broad enough for every girl to enter, supported enough for every woman to thrive, and strong enough for every champion to stand. Tonight we honor Winnet, Rose, Cynthia, Medita, Cass, and Juliet. Women who shaped their sports, changed their communities, and carved pathways for every girl who dreams of being strong, fast, precise, skillful, relentless, and resilient. Women who did so that we could, and so that the next generation will. Winnet, Rose, Cynthia, Medita, and Cass, you have shown us how to turn struggle into standard, talent into legacy, and participation into power. As for me, an athlete who will soon be retiring, who learned that leadership by lacing up and showing up, who carries examples with reverence. I see pieces of my path reflected in yours, in the joy of the game, in the sting of the sacrifice, in the stubborn insistence that we can both be world-class and holy ourselves. May we honor you not only with applause tonight, but with action tomorrow. Funding, programming, fair policies, safe spaces, and visible pathways, from grassroots to greatness. May the young women who may be watching, listening, feel the invitation in their bones. The lane is open, the light is on, and the records are waiting. Thank you, and congratulations to our honorees.
Thank you, Bria. What a wonderful, awesome, and captivating speech. Now, so, let's give her another round of applause. I think she captured and highlighted everything that is important about women in sports. Just to understand the connections that she's made from one individual to the next, all of their contributions that they've made, and how impactful they have been. From their tender ages into their senior ages, and the shifts that they've made. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. To be really honest, you know, sometimes you stop and you look on the TV, and like I was saying earlier, you see a lot of sports where men are highlighted. And we're in a room here tonight to recognize these women who have strived, who have struggled, who have just done wonderful things. I mean, Cass was recognized by the Virgin Islands Iconic Academy or Awards team recently. That deserves a round of applause. That deserves a round of applause. And she continues to embody what we would like all young women to continue to believe in, that they can take any role in sports, in leadership, in any realm. It doesn't matter where they stand, but that their voices will be heard. We want you to be recognized. We want you to feel good, empowered about what you're doing, wear your afro, where you're, feel good about yourselves and where you are in your journey. So Bria, again, we thank you. We thank you for highlighting these moments in their life where these women have contributed to, even me as well. Being on a softball field, I didn't realize you'd be retiring. That one is a bit, but I could understand as well. All of our journeys will come to an end, and next that in a different realm, maybe teaching, maybe leading, coaching, guiding in some other realm. So we want to take this time now to recognize them officially. This is where we present their awards. So we would like to welcome again Mr. Ephraim Penn.
Yes, I want to begin my very brief remarks by thanking the Commission for inviting me to participate in this event. It is important, not just for the enlightenment of the now generation of sports lovers, those who participate and those who appreciate. It is also important for chronicling the present and past achievements that will inspire unborn generations of Virgin Islanders who will aspire to even more outstanding goals than those achieved by their forebears. Since I was a little girl until today, more than 17 years later, 70. The territory has come a long way in the development of sports in general, and that is in keeping with the nature of a people who had to learn how to build out of nothing except the instinct to create and nurture the God-given talents with which we were blessed. This was no less so for girls than it was for boys. Girls were able to do whatever their physical strength permitted them to do. I remember in secondary school, I had the opportunity to be inspired by Principal Scott's honor board, mounted in the room where we assembled every morning. The most outstanding girl in sports was featured right along with the most outstanding boy as Victress Ludorum and Victor Ludorum. At the top of the board was Idris Christopher, later Idris O'Neill, of blessed memory. Today, I pay tribute to Idris and all those young girls who were her contemporaries, those who went before her, those who followed her, and indeed to the Olympians of today and of the future. As I pay tribute to these who have paved the way for the future of women in sports, I want to thank the Commission and congratulate them for the efforts they are making. May those efforts be supremely fruitful. I thank you.
Good night to everyone. I'm really a public person and I really hate cameras. However, I just want to say thank you for the honor. I really appreciate it. I'm going to continue to do my best for the territory and the children of tomorrow. I'm not going to be around for much long because my legs are getting very tired, but I'm gonna be around long enough just to guide, to help mentor and tutor. My main goal here is to get as much. I just want to take all the track children away from track and just let them play football. Today, football is the #1 paying job on planet Earth. So encourage the children to come out and play football, track. I apologize, I don't want to take the kids away. I really have taken T-Andre, and he was a very good player, but he's back to track, and not only T-Andre, but Tyrone Charles, he's a very good player also. But I just want to say thank you, parents. Without you, I don't take praises, but without you, this would not be possible not for me, but for the children and for the entire BVIFA. I just want to say thanks. Continue, kids. Teach them, especially at home. Push themselves to the limit. Discipline them, because my key word is discipline. Discipline them, and they'll be on the right path. Thank you very much again. I do appreciate it.
Good evening, everyone. To the GEDI committee, I must say thank you. I remember one day at work, I opened my phone and saw a message. You've been selected to be one of our honorees. I sent back a message and said, I think you have the wrong person. And then it was confirmed, yes, it was me. To every woman in here, every woman, every girl, I must say to you, don't let anyone stop you. Up to this morning, I read the news in the UK where a man, he's 97 years old, and he just started to do archery. If you can't run, you can't jump, you can't skip, come join archery. It is good for you. Thank you all.
me to be here to represent my sister Rose and our other siblings, if they can stand so we can see the family. We're all here and we came to support Rose's legacy. We thank the association for recognizing her and her daughters that you saw collecting the award on her behalf. One of them actually started to run and she was very fast, but unfortunately none of them kept up with the talent. But I will say, earlier when our Bria was talking about her successes and the 100 and the 200 meter record that she held for 27 years was actually broken by our niece, who is the daughter of my sister Daphne. So it's still in the family, and I think she still holds some records. And now her son, Tiandre, is breaking records as well. So it's still in the family. We still have some horses going. And I really am proud of my sister and for her being recognized tonight. And we want to once again thank the association for doing such.
I will now challenge you, the audience, to make sure that you carry on this legacy, that you continue to support them in any way that you can. Reach out, ask some questions. You can reach out to the association directly. They have a Facebook page. Let me tell you what the Facebook page is called. BVI Women in Sports Commission. So if you want to be a part of that movement to continue to fight for equality for women in sports, for that upliftment, that encouragement for young women to be on the front line, to be in the back line. Administration is important, people. I know a lot of us just want to run and do all the showing part of it. But like Coach Cass is saying, sometimes you need to be able to stand in a different realm and support in a different way. So again, if you want to take part in something that's meaningful, reach out, and you can reach out in different means, first by their Facebook page, or you can reach out to Ms. Gloria or Ms. Patricia Hodge at the end of the evening. As we start to wind down.
Before we wind down, we thought it fitting, since Juliet has a representative and he's over there enjoying the laughs, talking about how competitive with the brothers, we're going to ask her brother, Mr. Penn, the president of the Olympic Committee, to accept on her behalf. Ms. Gloria, can you come please? Ephraim, can you come to the circle, please?
Congratulations again to Ms. Juliet Penn for her effort in softball. Ms. Gloria, can you please join me?
Good evening again. It is so wonderful to see everyone here. One of the most important things in sports is showing up. You cannot do anything, you cannot get anywhere if you don't show up. In order to grasp these opportunities to fulfill your dreams, you must show up. So I thank all of you for coming here and showing your appreciation. We could never, how should I say, you can never ever pay our coaches or managers or athletes. You can never do it, but it is important to show gratitude, should let them know that you appreciate them. And the ladies that we recognize tonight it's just the beginning. There are so many others, but as Mrs. Whitley said, we need to document. We need to document. So following up on this, we are producing a booklet that will come out in March about all women who have contributed to sports in the Virgin Islands. And as I said, this is just the beginning. And we need to document for future generations to know, so that they don't have to start from the beginning. They start from where somebody left off. And that is so important. And again, thank you for showing up. Honorees, we appreciate you. If you hadn't done it, we would be starting from scratch. But it says you already started, so we can continue. Okay, and Ms. Bria, wonderful task tonight. You are awesome. But we are not going to wait until you reach to Miss Wheatley's age, until your knees get like casts, until you decide like Lynette is too tired to hold the bow, until Rose decides I'm going to leave it to my nieces and nephews. We want to recognize you now. You have contributed a whole lot to sports, especially softball. I wonder why. Y'all know her father, right? Okay. So we want to say thank you. So could you please go and accept our appreciation tonight? Accomplishments are accomplishments. It's not a timeline, it's not an age. Like when we accomplish, we should be appreciated. And when I say accomplish, you're simply contributing. It's not until you get a medal, until you win something. It is simply contributing. And these women have contributed a whole lot. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you also to the Olympic Committee, Mr. Penn, whom our commission falls under. He was instrumental in getting it started, was the one who said to me, we need to do that. And we did it. So I want to, we are still young, in March will be 2 years. So we are just starting, we're just learning. So we ask you for your continued support. And again, thank you for being here tonight. Razor Blades contributed the entertainment free of charge. We did not have to pay for that. That was, I called Shadow, I called him yesterday. It was yesterday, and he's here. It is important to show up, and he is doing this free of charge. You know, some photographers, you see them put up a picture on Facebook, and you wanted to tell where you have to pay for it. So that is not Shadow, okay? I called him yesterday, and he was here before. When I came here after 5 o'clock, he was sitting in the reception area. So that is commitment. Okay, that is the kind of support that we need in order to go forward, in order to progress, in order to document. So Shadow, thank you so very much. Okay, I called Bria, I gave her one role, and then I took it back and I gave her another role, and then I called her, and she was like, oh gosh, this is last minute, but she's here. So it is important to show up. And they are here because others who were asked, they asked, how much am I getting? Okay, so that is what we are dealing with, and that is something that we need to change. Okay, like Mr. Penn and the others say, this is sacrifices. You don't get it back in the change, but you see it in the community, in all those young people who are breaking records that have been there ever since. So if we do more, then they would accomplish more and accomplish more sooner if we would do more. So I want again, thank everyone. Kathy is here with us. Again, this is something you don't have to pay for. I just call her and she is here. Okay? She is here. Kathy, thank you so very much. Okay, I wish that Miss Cynthia could be here tonight, but when Mr. Ray O'Neill was the one who told me about Miss Cynthia's contributions, and I asked him if he was sure. All I know Miss Cynthia for is selling toys and snacks. You know, that's all I know Miss Cynthia for. So when he started to say all that she had contributed to, actually was a certified umpire. She umpired cricket games. I was like, what? So of course I went straight away to her shop, and I said, Miss Cynthia, you are in sports? Her eyes lit up. You know, she was eager to talk about it. So, you know, I wish she was here with us tonight, but another time, another place, hopefully. Also, there's Franca Pickering. There are others who would be here tonight except for illnesses. So let's keep them, you know, again, let's not wait for so long to recognize our women's contributions, okay? You see, okay, I'm not going to compare anything. I'm just saying, let's applaud our women. Thank you.
know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.